Leszek II the Black was a Polish prince, member of the House of Piast, Duke of Sieradz since 1261, Duke of Łęczyca since 1267, Duke of Inowrocław during 1273 to 1278, Duke of Sandomierz and High Duke of Poland since 1279. Life, birth and nickname. Early years. Leszek II was the eldest son of Duke Casimir I of Kuyavia and his second wife Constance, daughter of Henry II the Pious from the Silesian branch of the Piast dynasty. His nickname, Black, appears for the first time in the 14th century Kronika de Sieradz, and was probably given to him for his dark hair. In 1257 his mother died, and shortly after his father married for the third time with Euphrosyne, daughter of Casimir I of Opole. Leszek's stepmother soon caused conflicts in the family with her attempts to obtain territorial benefits for her own children in detriment of Leszek and his young full brother Przemysl. Some chronicles even accused Euphrosyne of attempting to poisoning both princes. However, this wasn't proved. Rebellion against his father Leszek II and Przemysl rebelled against the father and stepmother in 1261. The revolt initially failed because the local nobility, dissatisfied with their adventurous policy, retired their support. However, thanks to the help of the coalition formed with Bolesław the Chaste, Siemowit Masovia and Bolesław the Pious, Leszek II eventually forced his father to give him the district of Sieradz as a separate duchy. Duke of Sieradz. Leszek II's rule as Duke of Sieradz lasted from 1261 until 1279. His new duchy was formed with one of the less populated lands in the country. Only the colonization policy whom he pursued and the close cooperation with the church slowly changed the image of the district. In 1267 Casimir I died, leaving his domains to his 5 sons. Leszek II, as the oldest son and already in possession of Sieradz, only took Łęczyca. 1 year later, the citizens of Inowrocław rebelled against the pro-German policy of Przemysl and called Bolesław the Pious be the new ruler. However, Przemysl managed to keep the government until 1271, when Bolesław finally invaded the duchy, forcing Przemysl to escape. He kept the district for 2 years, until 1273, when Bolesław gave the district to Leszek II, who unexpectedly became also Duke of Inowrocław. His government over this land lasted until 1278, when after a meeting at Lad on the 24th of August, and thanks to the mediation of Przemysl II of Greater Poland, Leszek II returned the duchy to his brother. Adoption by Bolesław the Chaste. Marital conflicts. After Leszek II obtained his political independence in 1261, he rapidly established good relations with Bolesław the Chaste, ruler of Kraków and Sandomierz. The two princes meet for the first time in 1260, on occasion of the expedition against the Kingdom of Bohemia, which is part of a broader action during the Hungarian-Bohemian War for the Babenberg inheritance. Leszek II's participation in the war against Bohemia and his allies continued in later years, with particular intensity during 1271 to 1273. The childlessness of Bolesław and close cooperation with Leszek II resulted in the latter expectation to become his heir. The document of adoption was issued in 1265. 8 years later, Władysław Opolski organized a military expedition to Kraków, because he refused to accept the adoption. On the 4th of June 1273 took place the Battle of Bogucin-Maly, where the Opole Racibor's army was defeated. At the end of October, Bolesław made a retaliatory expedition against Opole Racibor's. However, The forces were limited only to destroy specific areas of the duchy. In 1274 Vladislav and Boleslaw the Chaste decided to conclude a peace, under which the Duke of Opole-Raciborz gave up his claims over the throne of Kraków in exchange of some territory adjacent to his duchy, and stretching as far as the Skałynka River. In 1265 Leszek II married with Gryfina, daughter of the Rurikid Prince Rostislav Mikhailovich, Ban of Slavonia and Duke of Maxo. The union was completely unhappy. In 1271 erupted the scandal when she fled to Kraków and publicly accused her husband of impotence, and for this the marriage was never consummated. The reconciliation of the couple took place only 4 years later, due to the intervention of Boleslaw the Chaste and his wife Kinga. Gryfina returned with her husband on 6 August 1275. Leszek II then decided to follow a treatment of the well-known Dr. Mikołaj of Kraków. His prescription included 8 frogs and snakes, because of which, as was stated on the Rocznik Traski, the lack of offspring caused a great abomination into the nation. Ultimately, Leszek II and Gryfina never had children. Ruler over Kraków and Sandomierz. War against Kiev and Rus, Lithuania and Yotvingia. On 7 December 1279 Boleslaw the Chaste died. In accordance with his wishes, the duchies of Kraków and Sandomierz were inherited by Leszek II, who became the new High Duke. The succession took place without much problems, although it is probable that Leszek II was forced to agree to a formal election as Duke of Kraków. However, the beginning of his reign wasn't peaceful. Unexpectedly, Leo I of Halych Peremyśl, with the help of King Wenceslaus II of Bohemia, planned the invasion of Kraków. With the help of Lithuanians, Tatars and some Russian principalities, in February 1280 he invaded Lublin, crossed the Vistula and besieged Sandomierz, who managed to resist it. Thanks to this, Leszek II was able to reunite enough forces to repel the invasion. The final battle took place in Gozlice on 23 February, where the Polish forces forced the Halych army to flee. Later in that year, Leszek II organized a retaliatory expedition who burned and destroyed border areas until Lviv. The following year, Leszek II attacked the Duchy of Wrocław, who belonged to Henryk IV Probus. This was in response for the imprisonment of Leszek II's ally Przemysl II after a meeting in probably Baris. This expedition, besides the significant loot to bring to him, didn't give the expected result. Also, the following years were not peaceful. In 1282 the Yotvingians invaded Lublin and plundered several villages. Thanks to this unexpected attack, they advanced to Opieniec Górny. Leszek II, after the initial surprise, managed to pursue the invaders, and somewhere behind the Nare River they clashed into a bloody battle. The Yotvingians were slaughtered, and this defeat effectively destroyed the combat strength of the tribe. 1 year later, the Lithuanians made a retaliatory expedition, but Leszek II was able to defeat them in the Battle of Rohyny. Conflict with Parel of Przemankowo, Bishop of Kraków. Despite all his military victories, Leszek II's position in Kraków-Sandomierz was not too strong. During almost all his reign he had to fight with the internal opposition. One of the leading opponents to his rule were Parel of Przemankowo, Bishop of Kraków, and Janus Stasa, Voivode of Sandomierz. The dispute with Bishop Parel started at the beginning of the 1280s, when he refused to approve Leszek II's restrictive policy against the Church. In this conflict also had an important part the widow of Boleslaw Kinga of Hungary, who, according to her husband's will, received the district of Stary Sac as her Oprawa. This district was very important and strategic and, according to Leszek II, too valuable to be in the hands of the Dowager High Duchess. During 1282 to 1283, the conflict came in the most dramatic stage when Bishop Parel was captured after a meeting at Legau and imprisoned in Sieradz. The Bishop of Kraków only regained his freedom thanks to the intervention of the Polish Church. A final settlement was signed only on the 30th of November 1286, when Leszek II agreed to pay Bishop Parel 3,000 fines as compensation for damages and the recognition of the bishoprics' privileges. The government of Leszek II also caused the opposition of the local knighthood, which could be surprising given the numerous times that they served the High Duke in his expeditions. The First Revolt took place in 1282, when the voivode Janus Stasa, using the absence of Leszek II, gave the fortresses of Sandomierz and Radom to Conrad II of Czesk. This rebellion was quickly suppressed. A more serious revolt took place 3 years later, in April 1285, when Otto Toporczyk, voivode of Sandomierz, Janus Stasa, the former voivode and now castellan of Kraków, and Igota, voivode of Kraków, raised an army against Leszek II, who, taken by surprise, was forced to escape to Hungary. Fortunately for Leszek II, the candidate for the throne supported by the rebels, Conrad II of Czesk, failed to take the War castle, defended by the faithful local burghers, led by High Duchess Gryfina. On the 3rd of May 1285 took place a decisive battle in Bogucice, where with the help of the Hungarians Leszek II obtained a great victory, forcing the rebels to leave the country. This overcoming opposition forced Leszek II to modify his local policy, so until the end of his reign the government was more stable. Mongol invasion in Poland in 1287 to 1288 took place. The third invasion of the Tatars to Lesser Poland led by Nogai Khan and Talabuga. The forces, with the support of some Kievan Rus principalities, were too great to face them in battle, so the knights and population took refuge in fortresses. Leszek II traveled to Hungary to ask for help. This time, Lesser Poland was better prepared for the Mongol invasion than in the previous two incursions, with several fortresses in Kraków and Sandomierz to defend the lands. The destruction, however, was quite significant. The First Piast coalition. It's believed that Leszek II initiated the process of unification of Poland. According to the theory of historian Oswald Balzer, he inspired the called First Piast coalition, formed by 4 princes: Leszek II, Henryk IV Probus, Przemysl II, and Henry III of Glogau, around 1287, and whose main purpose was to arrange the order of succession in Lesser Poland. This hypothesis is refuted by modern historiography, as a result of the known bad relations between Leszek II, Przemysl II and Henryk IV Probus during this period. On the other hand, another fact who could show an apparent national unification was the growing cult of Stanislaus of Szyetepanow. Leszek II died on the 30th of September 1288 at Kraków, and was buried in the local Dominican Church of the Holy Trinity. After his death, a violent dispute erupted among the main Piast's rulers for the seniorate. Eventually, Henryk IV Probus became the new High Duke in 1289, but his sudden death 1 year later caused that the seniorate passed to Przemysl II. But soon after, he was deposed on behalf of King Wenceslaus II of Bohemia, who became the new High Duke and King of Poland, having no legal grounds to reign. He managed to obtain a document from the Dowager Duchess Gryfina, under which she ceded to his nephew the Bohemian king the district of Stary Sacz, whom she finally received as her Oprawa, with the doubtful inclusion of all the seniorate ancestry.